This course, and especially Project 2, has taught me that proper and extensive research is a concept and skill that is essential to learn for life and the working world. Um, it's not just for English. It's not just for a paper. It's not just for an essay. Um, it allows you to gain a deeper understanding for a topic, idea, moral um, event that happens. Really, this is most essential for young people. Young people, myself included, are going to be the next leaders of one, our country, and two, the world. So we really need to be able to do our own research on issues. Looking at a single source, which you see a lot, like somebody just looking at a Twitter post and thinking that that is the complete truth and not even thinking, oh, what if something else happened, is very dangerous. Or if it's not on a widely held issue, if it's just on a normal topic, it just doesn't help. Just looking at a single source and believing that to be true doesn't help your understanding for anything. These sources are extremely biased, and they make you extremely biased afterwards. A good example for biased sources is, well, politics, especially media. Like CNN. CNN is a mainly Democrat news source that is extremely biased. But with that said, Fox News is a extremely Republican news source, which again is extremely biased. They are both very biased. Um, and those people who only watch one news source or only get it from that news source and don't do any of their own outside research uh, really make themselves prone to themselves becoming very biased and becoming just not open to learning new things. Um, Now, I don't like the idea of only talking about politics, but I do really believe that politics, especially in the United States right now, really requires your own personal, extensive research, or else you're going to be led astray. To either side you're on, it doesn't matter. Whichever side you're on, if you don't do your own research, you're going to be brainwashed. I started to realize all this during Project 2, whenever we were supposed to uh, research an opposing viewpoint. I believe this was also the project that was going on during the election. Um, and so that definitely helped get my mind open too. I Mine was on the gender power gap. Now I had never heard of this. I had always heard of the gender wage gap, and I never thought there was anything higher than that that was an issue because I had never seen anything well on the news about that. Um, and I kind of went into my research just thinking that I knew everything about it and that it was fake and that this was just nonsense that I was reading. But as I started getting deeper into the research, I started to think more and more about it, and started realizing, like, well, some of these are actually kind of good points, um, to where my mind started getting open to the idea that I was wrong and that what I had been told beforehand from my biased sources might not be true. Now, with the ending of my research, it didn't actually convince me and didn't change my mind about it. But it did keep me open to the fact that I can be changed about it, to where I'm not closed off to the idea that I'm still wrong. I just don't think that that everything I researched for my project brought me to uh, the fact that it's true. I think it's false. But again, with doing my research, I am still open to finding the source that changes my mind. I'm still open to have my mind changed. That's essentially what it looks like. It looks like doing your own research first, doing it on your side. Then it looks like opening yourself up to having your mind changed. That is essential. You can't do that before you research. the other subject. And then the last part is research the other side. Now, if you try and do the research before you open yourself up to being changed, then there's really no point in you doing that other research, because then you're just going to be closed off beforehand. So why even do the research for it? You're just going to close yourself off and be even more biased. So with all that said, young people with the access to unlimited amounts of information, I believe, are also the ones who close themselves off to the most information and do not conduct their own research. They just think that everything is handed to them, so they automatically go with it. They do not research correctly. They do not use technology to gain their information and sources correctly. They just use it as it comes to them, and they accept it out how it is. So again, young people need to learn how to properly conduct their own research on a subject, and be able to back it up and be open to changing minds and having their own mind changed.